What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate, reverse rants, no hate. So, look, let's get right into it. Today, I'm talking about none other than Muhammad Ali. Make this video brief. I've been watching Ali for the past 2 weeks, just studying him. Some will say re-observing, okay? 'Cause I've been watching him forever. And, with the whole everything that's been going on, I just was in that mood, man. And just watching the videos of Ali and, in and outside the ring. So let me break his style down. Let me just say, not so much break it down, but like, let's just put some things in order. Ali's style is considered unconventional. He's unorthodox because he did things that people said you're not supposed to do, and people a lot of times say he boxed with his legs. Right now, let's just make something clear. Now, when you have a fighter and says he throws jabs well, he throws to the body well, he mixes it up head body, you know, he shows ring generalship, the guy's tough, he can take a punch, and they bring all these attributes out. Then you take a guy who's constantly on his legs, can jab, can move, pull straight back, leans his head to the right and left just to slip out of the way of punches. Jersey Joe, a lot of times he had this style where he would like kind of sidestep, turn, just move and slip out of the way, get shots, counter. But he's not going backwards. So, people considered him to be stylish with that, but he wasn't going backwards. And with Ali, he just did things that you don't teach a fighter how to do. A lot of it, like what he taught and how he conveyed it into his own style. That's something Ali did. Roy Jones was a special fighter, man. Ray Leonard was different. Ray Robinson was different. But let me say this, because when I looked at like even like certain fighters that I said I think could have beat Ali in his prime or would have beat him, it's not like I'm saying Ali couldn't beat them. I'm just saying because in his prime, I don't think nobody could beat Ali. But those four fighters that I in my mind picture, and when I say prime, let me say this: it not necessarily has nothing to do with your age, okay? Because you can be 25, okay, and you can be good, but you might not peak and be super great until you're like 28. Somebody else, it might take them to get into their 30s. Everybody doesn't peak the same way, so your age has nothing to do with it. Like I said before, Wilfredo Benitez was only 17. Nobody said Wilfredo Benitez was too young. I heard people say Floyd Mayweather retired too soon, man. Why? He was 38 years old. Rocky Marciano and Floyd got the same record, right? Or had the same record at the time. Marciano retired when he was 32. I've never heard anybody say Marciano got out of boxing too soon. I've heard people say he retired at the right time because around 32, 33 is when you start to lose your skill. I've heard people say that many times. But with Floyd, he was 38 and people were saying that he left too soon. Okay. Ali, and I said that to them. We're talking about peaking your age when not that Floyd peaked. Floyd was actually, not the same fighter, but was still great enough to do what he had to do to win his fights. So Ali, here's my thing. Take fighters like Floyd Patterson, Henry Cooper. There's different fighters who you listen to how they analyze their styles and say that these guys were elite level fighters and that they were great boxers. They knew how to do this, and that. So why is it that Ali was able to beat them? Ali style, okay, the things that they said he made mistakes doing, it was actually a part of his arsenal. You ever like when people throw shots at Ali and he would turn his head, he's looking at them. He's not doing this. He's looking at them and he's just, move and slip, pop, pop, move. Ali did a lot of things. His movements, like especially a prime Ali, he would move certain ways, get you to, he see what you're gonna flinch to, if you're gonna lunge at him, if you're gonna know what direction you're gonna shift to. All of those things Ali did. And then his movement. This is what people fail to realize about Ali. His movement, okay, is what made his style more effective. Now, when he couldn't move as much as he got older, he fought more because he had to, as far as like standing still. But you see that, damn, he got it in to do it. Ali has it in him to pop, pop, pop if he needs to. He'll stand right there and bang with you if he had to. And he was always a headhunter. So that says a lot about his skill level, man. The fact that this guy rarely threw body punches. I mean, there's like a. I remember him throwing somebody shots at Cleveland Williams, and they were always jabs. No uppercuts and hooks, just always jab to the body, jab to the body. Because like he said, you leave yourself open when you throw body shots. So he mastered his style of the way he fought. So that's why no matter how much someone tried to imitate Ali, the most they could do to imitate Ali is dance around like him and then shoot a jab out. But as far as, like Larry Donald tried to throw punches like Ali, he tried to move like Ali, he tried to do everything like Ali. He was nowhere near what Ali was. Quick Tillis was another guy. Out of all those guys, he danced around like Ali and imitated him the most and tried to be like Ali. His style worked for him. Quick Tillis was a good fighter, but Ali was different, man. And there's no rule that says you have to be a conventional fighter. If it's about you giving me your stamp of approval, well, who needs that? When James Toney fought Roy Jones, people always said Roy was a special fighter. He was different. A lot of people said that. But the thing was, they thought that the fight with Tony and Roy was going to be like a war. And a lot of people thought Tony's experience was going to come through. And that was one of the easiest fights Roy Jones ever had. And at the end of the day, it's what I'm saying when you do something unorthodox. Look, Ali would shoot his jab. A lot of times his hands would be low, and Ali would shoot his jab. Like I said, he pulled back, and a lot of people do that pull counter. Well, Ali would pull, and he would roll, or he would slide, avoid your next shot. Simply come back with a 1-2. And a lot of times he would come back with that 1-2 and then load up, and Ali was unpredictable. So you didn't know, and the talking constantly trying to get you out of your game plan, trying to get under your skin. This is all a part of this man's arsenal. This is not something that he just does. All of it played a part. All of it. So, think about it. Ali didn't start taking punishment until he got older. Like when he came back in his second career, he definitely, he wasn't the same. And the thing is, he was still great. So people don't realize he was not even close to what he was when he came back. He was nothing like what he was. He wasn't the same fighter, and he didn't start taking punishment until then. And not a lot, just certain fights he had where Ali was just different, man. And the reason I'm saying why I wanted to make this video, I see like in the gym, a lot of fighters now look a lot flashier than they used to, and people are saying that this guy's trying to be like Floyd Mayweather, this guy's trying to be like this guy's this and that, and these guys are not, they're not doing this and they're not doing that. Nobody is saying you have to be strictly old school. That's not what I'm saying. Let me speak for me. I do feel like there's certain fundamentals that people abandon, okay, that's been around for a long time, like the jab. A lot of people don't work off their jab. Roy Jones didn't use a jab a whole lot. He knew when to use it. Everybody doesn't have Roy Jones's reflexes. Roy Jones's hand and foot speed and his boxing IQ. So imitating someone is not the same as understanding why he threw that punch that he just did. Why did he move that way? Why does he turn his shoulders and step away? Understanding these things and being able to use it effectively because it's necessary, not just because you want to be flashy. Okay. And I watched Muhammad Ali, how he would dance his foot positioning, how he knew when to throw what punch. He knew when to. Ali was just different, man. He was so different. And that's one fighter that I would say, definitely, like I said, and like I'm not going to get into who I think would have beat him and why. I already made a video about that. But like I said, it's not like I don't think he could beat them. I'm just saying, especially like in his prime, because like I said, in his prime, I don't think anybody would have beat him. And the guys who I think might have still beat him in his prime, I think he could beat them too. You understand? That's where I was going with that. Not saying that, oh, he couldn't beat this guy at all. No, that's not what I'm saying. Or like they would be dominant over him. No, that's not what I'm saying. And the fact too, because Ali was 199 pounds when he fought Sonny Liston. But it really didn't matter, man. Ali was just different. Certain fighters was able. I mean, look at Holyfield. He was 206, and I think the highest Holyfield ever weighed in the fight was 219 or 217, something like that. Um, but Ali definitely held his own, and even though his style was so different, and you've never seen another Ali, man. Like I said, you've seen people imitate him, but you've never seen another Ali. You know, people say that. I will say I'll agree that Ray Leonard he has more credible names than Roy Jones has overall. You know, with Duran, Hearns, Hagler. You know, he got Benitez on his record. Roy Jones does not have his record is no slouch, man. He doesn't have a and he fought who was there. Even the guys that he didn't fight, and I don't believe that he didn't fight. I don't think he was scared of Nigel Benn. I don't think he was scared of Chris Eubanks or Collins or Kawasaki, any of those guys. You know, but anyway, people say Ray Leonard had a better record. Now, to put them in fight against each other, me personally, I don't think Ray Leonard would have beat Roy Jones. And let's be real, Roy Jones couldn't make 147. Ray Leonard did make 160 and fought Hagler. That Ray Leonard that fought Donnie Lalonde, that Ray Leonard that fought Marvin Hagler does not beat Roy Jones. Even the 147 Leonard. The thing that's unfair about it is in fact, Ray Leonard went up to 160. He went up to 160. And I remember him saying like he realized at 160, like, nah. So that's the only way you can compare them is at 160 because Roy he never fought at 147 as a pro. I don't see Ray Leonard beating Roy Jones. He has a better, a more, a little more defined, resume in that sense. But like, it's not like, it's not like that makes him a better fighter than Roy. So anyway, when you look at styles of fighters who are special fighters, who are different, who do things that they're not being taught to do, the things that they do that they add to what they're being taught, those special fighters, yeah, I mean it's different, man. It's different. It's different. And like Ali style, people criticize you're not supposed to do this, you're not supposed to pull back, you're not supposed he's not getting away with these things by luck, man. This is a part of his style. It was patterned, it was designed that way. Now, when his reflexes were no longer the same, like I said, when he came back and he was getting hit more, and when he couldn't move as much and he had to fight more, he started to take more punishment. You saw him do certain things less and less. And he started putting his guard up high. He would come forward and he knew, hey, I can stand and bang if I need to. He had a lot of heart, man. Ali never showed weaknesses in the ring, man, and I don't think Ali was afraid of anybody. Ali just had a style that was different, man, and I think he was ahead of his time, man. You know, he said that he patterned a lot of what he did after Ray Robinson, but he was different from even Ray Robinson. Ali just was different, and I think he was ahead of his time with his thinking. Because if you look back at what he did and look now at what he's doing, Shane always remind me of Sugar Ray Robinson. The way he throws punches, even his hair, the way certain things he did, just the way he threw punches, the way he just certain things, the flashiness, like the way he threw the fast hands. He kind of remind me of Ray Robinson a little in that sense. There's people that copied Ali, but I mean, and the fact that Ali could dance all night long, he could move, and he punch when you don't, just when you think he's tired, and he lights you up, man, with these flurries out of nowhere. He shoe shot, he does. Ali was just different, man, and I know that when people compare and they make these, well, Larry Holmes had the best jab in boxing, and Larry Holmes did this and this. I know Larry Holmes was in Britain, and I saw the video where he was saying he was faster than Ali, that he had a better jab than Ali. Now he's a fighter, so of course he's going to say he's the greatest of all time. He's going to say he was better than Ali, he was better than whoever. But he was a sparring partner, of course. I don't think in an actual fight. that those two guys at their best, I don't think Holmes beats Ali. Not by a long shot. I think Holmes was a great fighter. Holmes had heart too, but I still go with Ali. Regardless, all of the jabbing, Holmes went to the body, all the things that they say he was fundamentally more sound than Ali, right? How many people think that Holmes would have beat Ali in his prime? Now, how many people think that Holmes would have beat Mike Tyson in his prime? Right? But there's many people that believe Ali would have beat both of them. How many people? I mean, really, when you break it down and look at what these guys did, and think, Holmes fought Norton when Norton was the older man now, and that's where he got his first title from. A guy that Ali fought 3 times, and Ali was never in his prime when he fought Norton, but Ali beat him twice out of the one, even though okay, we know what the third fight was. But anyway, when they look at Ali's style and you break down the things that Ali did and why and how, if you really just don't judge anybody's style based on what the so-called experts are saying. There's no experts, man. You have your opinions, and that's all it is. Because, like I said, there's been many times when all these guys have picked a certain fighter to win. I went the other direction, and guess what? Okay, many times. Many times. Just like right now, you have people like Andre Ward and Timothy Bradley saying, I don't see anything that JJ can do that's going to beat Fury. Fury's just a way better fighter. Fury's this, Fury's that. Now, when AJ beat him, right? And I'm saying win because I believe he's going to. But even if he lost, okay. It's okay too. But when he beats him, watch. Either they're going to either give him his credit finally, or they're going to, nah, Fury should have been. No, it's not what he should have been. You guys said he had the total package to get the job done, and then he didn't. This is what people find hard to say. But, excuse me, AJ showed he can fight different. AJ showed that he can switch up his style and do what's necessary to win. And it's just amazing, man, because Ali, man, I remember AJ made a comment about he tried to get on his legs and move, and he realized he couldn't. And that shows you how great Ali was. But look at what happened when AJ needed to do it. It's called believing in yourself, man. And, you know, he started to put these things together and realize he has to be able to fight in a different way. And Ali was just a guy, man, that, like I say, he's in the class by himself, man, and he did these things that people criticize. They say it was wrong. Well, if it's wrong, you know, I remember going into a gym and had some trainers tell me you shouldn't do this and that, and I'm a southpaw. And I said, well, show me who the best guy in your gym is and have him correct me. That way I'll understand your point more. I'm just going to leave it at that. But, you know, at the end of the day, Ali was different. Ali just did things that people said he couldn't do, whether it was stylistically, whether it was just him overcoming the fight and beating the guy that they thought was going to pummel him. And remember, it wasn't the prime Ali that beat George Foreman. Okay, this was an Ali that was nowhere near what he used to be. But like I said, greatness is different levels of it, and he still had greatness. So anyway, man, yeah, I feel like, you know, for me, I like to study and analyze things on my own. When you guys hear commentators and different people saying this guy was this and he'll beat him because this and he couldn't because, analyze. Because sometimes you might think a certain way and you'll start to see things and go, you know what? I feel different now about this and that because blah, blah, blah. But it's you seeing this. A lot of times, people are always going to have opinions, but a lot of times people say things, I don't see it the way they see it. And like I said, there's been many fights, whether it was Max Kellerman, whether it was Teddy Atlas, whether it was Burt Sugar, you know, whether it was Freddie Pacheco, whoever. These guys are saying this guy's going to win it. Andre Ward, Timothy Bradley, and guess what? The guy who I said was going to win won easily. When these guys were saying this guy's going to win because it's going to be a tough fight, and it wasn't a tough fight at all. So, yeah, I just thought that was interesting, man. And like I said, I'll probably be just watching Ali for the rest of the whole month, man. Just, you know, or whatever. I just like getting to things. I do that at times. And then who knows? Maybe I'll be watching all Terry Norris all next month, or something like that. It's just things that I just do. So anyway, that's all I want to say on this video. I will catch y'all on the next one.